started. It actually didn't work. Now, and we work hard, try to fix it, and it was no help. So imagine that what happened. So we tried to ask for help from the Earth, the planet Earth, and we lost the communication as well. Now we are alone, me and you, living on the moon. And we have food only for a few days, food, oxygen, and water. And we are absolutely sure what's going to happen after that. So what happened, after a few days, we are almost run out of everything, and we sat down and start to just write a letter to our beloved one on the planet Earth, hoping in the future when they come to the moon, they will get this letter shared with our beloved one. But then after that letter, we just actually saw a storm erupted, a very heavy sandstorm erupted suddenly, and the storm, just the wind come, the strong wind come and actually push those sand around, and so, and everywhere like become a dark sandy cloud. And after a while that we actually see everything settle down, we actually saw a beautiful place with those flowers, trees, fruits, food, water, and everything. And we were very hungry. We went and actually ate them, and then we started to discuss and said, what could be the source of those things? So then what happened, after 1 hour, we got another storm. This time the storm destroyed everything. Now again, we have only sand and nothing else. So I will, yeah,
Okay.
I run out of my time, I know, but I was going to ask you some question from that story.
Okay, I'll give you a chance to finish your story and ask any questions.
Okay, so then what happened after that, so everything again turned back to the sands. So we were again left alone without any food, crying that we're gonna die. And then after 1 hour, we saw a similar storm again. Came in, the wind come and actually pushed the sand around. And after that, we saw again same thing. Trees, fruit, food, water, and exactly what we really like and want to have it. Now, we enjoyed this time. We were involving in the discussion that what might be the source of all these things. And what happened after an hour, we saw another storm came. This time, the storm destroyed everything back, turned them back to the sand. But not only those things, the storm destroyed our body as well. But there was a camera recording everything. And then what happened, after going through the cycle, another storm came and actually mixed the sand again. Then we were back to the life. We were again composed from the sand, and we were back to the life, and we saw everything there. Now, the question we had, we were sitting and thinking. Now, the question we had, first of all, do you think if we have such experience, do you think it will be reasonable or important to ask the question about the origin and the source of all those amazing events, if you consider as an amazing? Second, if you think yes, what could be the source of those amazing events? A is just wind and sand, randomly the wind moving the sand and making this happen. B, there are certain natural law in the moon, get into practice and actually make those happen. C, there is just a chance, we were lucky, and by luck that the wind came and turned the sand to everything, and help us to experience those amazing things. D, would you think that those things might be an unequivocal evidence of knowledgeable, powerful, merciful, a wise maker? What would be your answer?
Okay, well, to tie this in with our previous discussion on your certainty about existences, um, I would say first that any inference that you might make about something intelligent intervening in that case still couldn't be as certain as the perceptions of what was going on around us. In other words, if we perceive that our spacecraft did not start, we perceive that our communications with Earth did not work, we perceive these storms coming and going as you have described, we perceive the camera and we watch the video of ourselves being destroyed and reconstituted. All of that is direct sensory perception, and it has a higher level of standing in forming belief than does any kind of inference about what might have been the cause of these changes that occurred. So we can, I'll make that point, tying it into the earlier discussion that we had, but it doesn't seem like you're willing to budge on that particular issue. I think you're mistaken, but we can leave it at that and get into more of the questions that you ask about this hypothetical scenario. Well, certainly, I would say first of all, the scenario you describe would be incredible, unusual, highly unlikely, based upon what we know about the moon already from our various observations of it. And by the way, people have already visited the moon. We would have some expectations about what that experience would be like. And so the scenario you described is extremely unusual, interesting, intriguing. So we might begin to speculate about what was causing it. But certainly there are many possibilities, and the one you mentioned is not the only one.
Okay, yeah, I will let you to speak more, but I want to just add one thing to the scenario. I think I missed that one part. So imagine that after those kind of hourly storm, that what we observe, so basically you have hourly storm destroying everything and hourly storm coming and bringing everything back in amazing way. Now it's amazing, as you mentioned. So one other thing that we observe after that we actually look at the product of the storm and examine every single product which are combined with the wind and with the storm. And what we observe and conclude that without any exception, every one of them are at least as complex as laptop, as complex as airplane, as complex as any man-made object that we know from the planet. Now, it's not one, not two, not 10, without exception. Every product came out of this storm are extremely complex and beyond our ability to duplicate. That's another kind of thing I want to add. Now, with all these things, I want you to really go through. I know there are many possibilities, to go through those 4 options they offer and see which one actually seems more reasonable to you and what will you decide.
Well, your scenario is, of course, something that is extremely unlikely to ever occur. it doesn't fit in with what we know about the moon.